So I know we've been talking a little while and covered everything from our Leadership Foundry engagements to team engagements to coaching. Anything that we haven't talked about that you might want to add to our conversation today, Randy?
I think it's really, interesting as I think about how you and I have operated over the years. You and I both laughingly say that we're really not very good at selling our business because, everything comes through referrals. We're just really blessed and grateful that, people know about us. They think about us when there's a need, but we're almost every single bit of work that we do comes from is we have these really engaging conversations. Maybe it's an executive coaching client, maybe it's some other old client or colleague out in the business world. But you and I are very curious people. We ask questions, we listen, I think, very well. And we're always willing to offer, candid advice. We're willing to, really offer suggestions. And it's never with really the intent to sell our work. It's just, you might want to think about this. You might want to try this approach. And I think so much of our work comes from just that willingness to meet with anybody, talk with anybody. We're very informal people, as you would, I hope, agree. And I think just that willingness to be accessible and listen and engage is the starting point for almost all of our great clients. And I'm proud of that. I think that's a good way to operate. And I think that's how you and I do it.
I would agree with that. Yeah, it starts off with those kind of conversations, and then it just goes to wherever it goes. And sometimes it's just one conversation.
Yes,
that's it. We offer a piece of advice, and that's the end of that particular engagement or conversation. It could just be an informal cup of coffee, and then other times it turns into year-long relationship.
Yes. It's funny. One of our favorite clients. This will be our 4th year. Actually, come January 1st, that will be at the beginning of our 4th year. I think we have one client that's in their 5th year. And I think it speaks a lot about, hopefully the quality of work we're doing and the partnerships we've built, that we've got clients that come back to us again and again. And I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, likewise. Well, so since we're typically try and end this particular podcast with some practical tip that a leader could do starting tomorrow to make them more effective. Any piece of advice as we're kind of moving into the next year? Any piece of advice that you could give to a leader listening to this today?
I think, and I'm thinking back to some of the conversations I've been having over the last several weeks. I would encourage leaders who are listening to really take the holidays and look in the mirror and really just evaluate how did this year go? How do I think about this year? What am I proud of? What am I not proud of? Take a look at potentially habits and behaviors that have creeped in that you'd like to eliminate next year. And, and one of our favorite words is intentionality. Yeah. Be super intentional about restructuring how you show up at work next year. Starts with the calendar. Every day, put things in the calendar that give you energy, that bring you joy, that will help you not feel the stress. And don't let someone else control your calendar. So really be thoughtful about, I know what I've done wrong. I know what I need to do differently. If I don't, maybe I'll get a candid friend to help me. But I want to show up a little differently in 2023. And I'm going to start to restructure my time, my days. It can be about your health. It can be about showing up with your kids. It could certainly be about how you show up at work. But I think just this willingness, when we hopefully have a slower period of time in the next 3 weeks, that we'll all just take a breath and look in the mirror and say, okay, I definitely feel like I wasn't me this year. Next year's going to be different, and own the change. And maybe get an accountability partner. Get someone that is willing to, hold you accountable, that you can go to, who'll be candid. So, probably obvious advice, but that's probably what I would share.
Yeah, I'll build on that.
Sure.
And say more focus on the work side of the equation. I would say, as you're thinking about listening to this, about how to reframe your time, be intentional about how to use your calendar. One of the favorite questions I've been asking my clients over the last 6 months, it just seems to get them thinking differently. It's a great question that everyone listening can ask themselves about this past year. Were you trying to win an MVP, or were you trying to win a world championship? Because those are two very different things.
Absolutely.